All right, hi guys. I am here to work on the second prompt for Roxy's journal, hashtag Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. Once again, a thank you goes out to Rachel and Sarah for putting this together. It's been so much fun. I did the last one and I am thoroughly enjoying so far this one. This prompt was a wreath. Now this is the second color that I'm using. I used this one for my reindeer one, but these two will be the ones that are going into my red banner book. I'm getting them ready like they would be a banner or a bunting, as there some call it. But not sure. So I figured I'd show you a couple. This is a Fiskar pen and Frixion pen, and for anyone that doesn't know the Frixion, it's fabric markable, heat erasable. Some people say that in cold that it can possibly show back up again. I've never had it happen, but I live in Florida also. I don't live in real cold temperatures. So that might make a difference, but it makes a difference on this. Now this fabric is a loose weave, and so because of that, making lines on it is going to be a little difficult. Now I'm going to make my center circle, and I've just got a butter tin over here. Now I am going to make sure I leave enough room at the top so that I can turn under. And I'm going to put a couple of pins in it just so that I will remember that that is the excess to turn it under, or like I did on the last one. Now I could do this one, but I want my wreath to extend. The circle I make is going to go inside and outside of it. So I think I'm going to use this as the center, and I probably am going to want to put some words or something on it, which I probably would put, but I want it right about there. Now if I mark with this one, we're really not going to see it. Another choice is you've got water soluble. This one's a fade away. There's a lot of different types out there, but this one's a fade away. I'm a quilter also, so I have the tools. Now I want to make sure that's about even on both sides. I don't want it lopsided, and I want enough room to put some stuff coming out. So now let's try this one on here and see if we see. Now this fades away. I can see that a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around with this one. And it's, I don't know that you guys can see it, but I can see that it's there. But what I'm also going to do, this is a chalk pencil, and it has all different color chalk in it, and I'm going to use the white one, and I'm going to see, this one will make it a little bit bigger, the circle. Now see, you can, on the red you can see the white a whole lot better. Alright, and so there is our circle for a wreath. It's off that way, just here, but I think we'll be okay. Now what I am going to do, just to make sure I don't lose that circle is I'm going to go around and stitch around it. I'm going to use something heavier than that. I'll use this, some kind of, it's an acrylic. It's almost like a yarn. It's not, I don't know what it is, but it's a good product. And if I can get the needle threaded, that noise was my dog coming in. Alright, so we've got this. And I'm just going to baste around that circle so that I'm able to preserve it. Because moving it, this is loose weave and it will come off after a while. But this way we'll know where that circle is at all times and we won't get all off angle. Now I'm trying to decide how, and I think I might couch my interior part of the wreath. I'm going to try it and see how I like it. If I don't like it, then we can take it right back out again. You know, I was kind of worried about doing kind of such a bold colors with the two prints that I chose, but so far I'm pretty happy with it. And this one's not a print, but the other one is a print. We're almost there. Let's see, today is Saturday. You might hear some thunder and lightning out there because we're finally getting some rain. I shouldn't say finally because we actually have been getting quite a bit of rain. I'm just trying to get it to loosen up. I don't want it to tighten up on me. Like it did right there. Did a smaller stitch and that's why when you're basting you want to do a bigger stitch so you can move your threads around. past that. Okay, so now we have our end turned under. We have our circle here, and you see just by me holding that, that chalk is just about gone, and the disappear one is just about gone. So that's why I like doing this, because now I know firmly every time I go to it exactly where my line is. Now I'm going to get set up for couching, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. I went and got some stuff together. This is one of the fabrics that I had, and my initial thought was I can take this and kind of needle turn it around and then roll this, because I want it to be thin, and that's about the thickness that I would get all the way around. But I was really thinking I wanted this a little more airy with a lot of stitching coming all the way around it. So that's not gonna quite give me the airiness I want. Then I thought, well, I could abandon that idea, and I could gather this all the way around, and then I would have that base to work with if I just kept gathering it all the way around. And that wasn't bad. But then I still liked my airy idea, and I want to do this, and I still have the green one to do, so I might use that gathering on my green one. But then I decided, and I can't, some white yarn, but I just wanted something different. So what I ended up doing here, and let me see if I can bring you in closer, is I took 3 pieces of this big ball of whatever it is. I got it from Goodwill. It's like a pearl cotton, but only, I think it's crochet cotton. So I decided, well, let me try and braid a piece. And so I'm down to almost the end on it. Don't know if it's going to work, but I figured this would give me that light airiness that I wanted for my small branches and all stitched. And I figured, and I'm just coming over one and just doing a standard braid. My fingers will let me do it. Tighten up a little bit if I need to. And what I did on here, I'll bring it up a little bit. I put 2 pins up there at the top, put it through a knot, and then that way it held it in place for me. I'm not sure if this is quite big enough yet. Actually, it is. Good. So what I'm going to do is tie another knot down it me take you back out a little bit. I'm sorry for moving this so much, but I'm going to tie a knot down at this end so I know it's not going to go nowhere. And I thought this might be a much prettier fix, and it would turn better. This fabric, you know, it's pretty pliable, you would think, but you're gonna have some gathers at certain spots. And so what I could do with this is just pin it all the way around. And it didn't take me long to braid. But that gives you a little extra texture for your vine, for the center of your wreath. I'm going to crisscross those for right now. Actually, I'm going to leave that one out. And then what I am going to do is go back to my needle. I'm going to go with this thread. Sometimes this thread is fairly easy to thread, and other times the hole is pretty big on this. Okay, we got it. Now you can tie your knot either way. You can do a little knot like that at the end, or you can do your quilter's knot, whichever one you want to do. Now what I'm going to do now is try to stay very careful to that line. I can see where it is. And I'm just going to couch it on there. And I can see my stitches right there underneath, so I can keep right with those. And theoretically, it should be a good circle when we get done, if I don't go wonky on it. And I can just keep taking my pins out as I go around, lining it up with those perfect circle marks I made. When you get a knot, it's usually your loose thread that's causing it. It's wrapped around. There you go. And you may have to tug it a couple of times to get it. But I'm going to keep doing this all the way around. Keeping with those little lines I made up underneath. Those are so helpful. Now you can get even more with this. You could take another one and wrap it around it, which I may end up doing that, just to give it a little more movement. And I'm just keeping up with the line. And we don't think about all the time what we have for templates around the house. You know, if yours is a little bigger, you could use a little saucer, or these are smaller than the last ones I did. They're quite a bit actually smaller. These are, let's see, 6.5 by 7.5. I think my other one was 9 by 11. Was what most of the pages were. I started out smaller on the other one, but kept working. Not much, but they kept getting bigger. See, and there's my braid there, but if I pull on it just a little bit, it'll all go back to. But I don't mind if some parts are a little. To me, that's what the homemade part is. You know, is that it's not perfect. It's not a machine. Somebody took the time to undo. We were in our meeting the other day, and somebody had brought in some blocks that someone had done, and had the smallest, tiniest stitches I have ever seen. And I just love looking at other. I think that's why I like restoring old quilts, is because I get to sit there and look at it and see how they did different things, and you know, just to honor the person that alright, somehow this has gotten tangled. On this. stitches. Is that, do I have 2 needles going? That wouldn't surprise me. Now, yeah, I do have 2 needles. Well, I see. One got sewn in around the other one. Somehow. I don't think I cut that one when I ended. I have so many threads going here. There we go. Now we're back on track. And you know, the count's just under and over. And we are almost through. I'm going to go over that one more time because I didn't get all 3. Now we're gonna got just a little more to go. You know, on this, I was thinking, you know, if there's 2 a month, and we've got, well, that'd be 12. 6 months together, it'll be 12. It's not a full year. So, but you probably could divide, do half and half, 6 and 6. I'm doing 2 different color reds. I think just 1 color. I might do 2 color greens, but I'm not sure yet. So that'll be quite a few blocks. But I figure these will be Christmas presents, so. My family knows me. They know they always give me handcrafted stuff. And sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss. So it just depends. Okay, now we're here to where the 2 ends meet. And I really don't need that knot. So what I think I'm going to do, so I cut that knot where I had tied it to help braiding. going to keep couching around. And then I'm going to couch the two of those together. Maybe do one more. One more. I just want to make sure that it's not going to come unbraided. Alright, so now I can clip this right up close to that. Couch around it a couple more times, grabbing all of my threads. Always one in every bunch. Who wants to be a wild one? I'm trying to hold it down with my finger. This will catch it. Yeah. So now besides me, and you can just kind of stretch it, and you can go to the iron and kind of get it to relax some. Okay, so there's the start of our wreath. And now what I'm thinking about doing, and this is really going to be too wide, but is I'm going to go out, out, and I'm going to do that all the way around there, but I'm going to come in and do some little stitches around like that. And that will take me a while, but I'll show you what I'm going to do to start with. And I think at this point, because all of the stitching is going to bunch this up, I know it. And so I'm going to bring this in. That should be the right side on the sides. And I'm going to start pinning it. Check my bag to make sure I've got, I want to bring it down just a little bit more. Yeah, so see, right, so that it's right butting up against my turnover piece. I need 2 more pins. Pass my needle back down, because what I want to do is bring it all the way through to fasten that all together. And now, bring that up just a little. I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold this up, because I do want it to unravel at the edge. And I will trim that off. That'll be good for something else. And now that's going to be the size of this. And now I can work this needle back through. I'm just bringing it through my, and yes, it will be harder to stitch with the batting than it would be just the fabric, but this is going to help it so it's not going to bunch up so much. And I think I'm going to come in here. I'll do a few of these so you can see them, and then I'll go off and finish it, and I'll come back. And I think I'm going to make these. Some of them might have an extra branch coming from it. Just a little, so I got enough to put the other. And then what I'm going to do around each one of these is do a little twig. But in reality, what I'm going to do is go all the way around and make my little twigs. And then I'll come back and do all these other littler stitches. So that's what I'll be doing all the way around, and then I'll come back and do some beads. I might write a word in the center, and then we'll probably do some lace around the outside, and we'll see, and I'll grab some of that. But that's what I'm